Good day and welcome back to my channel. So this is likely going to be the last update prior to the final, because I'm pretty close, I think, to finally getting the finalized pieces in and done. But I do want to take an opportunity here because I'm doing last bits of detailing, and this is pointing out some of the challenges that need to be overcome with this. Now, the underside painting currently is very raw. I only have a base start to the weathering, so this is not the finished. You know, you can see a lot of the raw crap in here. But this video is about this update is about the detailing and what we're working with regard to this kit and what we need to do. So that's the piece I'm looking for here. Yeah. So, I just got done putting on the piping, and so, and what I mean by piping is I mean these guys here, and this is where things get a little hairy. I don't know, hairy. So fits really close. So these two pipes are a touch short, and when I say short, they have, so that mounting area is made, so the pipe has little grooves cut in that pipe so it'll fit onto the area that's in there. There's also mounting hole here. So, but if you line the mounting hole up here to that, it doesn't fit. If you make flush contact with the mounting position here, then that doesn't. And it's possible because maybe, I was going to think that maybe this was off just a touch, but it's not. It actually is flush up against the housing here. So it's just it's a little thing, but it's something to be aware of. So when you go to stick this in here, I'm actually using green stuff to make up the space, and you can see that here. I'm letting it cure just a little bit before I clean this up. I don't want to fiddle with this too much while it's still soft because it's just going to move this. So I want this to cure up a bit before I go trim that away. These mounting holes, so these two pieces drop in here. These mounting holes are small. So I believe I pointed this out in earlier videos. The mounting holes and the pieces that get mounted, you usually need to clean those holes out a little bit. So I recommend doing that. The other bit of info, so since I'm under here and you can see this, you can see the big blocks of green stuff that are in under in at the wheel struts here. Right down, return that a little bit better, yeah. So there. I'll take this up. And the other part of this is you need to be incredibly gentle. So you can see the blobs of green stuff, and yes, they're really ugly blobs. I really wanted to reinforce these. There's a lot of weight. There's a whole lot of weight to these, to this model. Another minor issue, and you can kind of see it, is the height of this is just barely longer than the underwing missile pod. So the armament kit was made for the Mobius kit, and I applied it here to the BadAzz one, and I can get away with it, right? It'll be fine. It's not actually resting on the ground, so it'll work. But again, something to be aware of. If you're going to do it, you'll probably, I would recommend trimming the pylon down so that the missiles sit closer to the wing. I didn't, and I'm at a point now where I really don't want to. If they break off again, I will. Which brings me to the other point, breaking off again. A lot of these pieces that just get stuck on the outside, even the pinned ones, or even the ones that have little mounting holes, it's really a challenge to make sure you have a good a good seal. I'm using super glue, and of course, I'm stripping the paint, doing the whole 9 yards. But I'm still having issues. Like if I just bump these, just with any real force, they go twink, and I'm having to glue and reglue, and it's becoming frustrating. And it's probably me. It's probably what I'm doing. There's probably something I should be doing differently that I'm not. And I'll continue to research that. But I do want to make it aware. This one's going to be a fragile kit, or it's going to be somewhat fragile. Your main support, once you get the engines together, so this is something I was having real issues with these mount wings. Once I got these and the engines all together, they kind of all hold each other together and provide support. Until you get that done, until you get those engines in, tying all these together, things are kind of loose, kind of fragile. Well, not kind of fragile, they are very fragile. So that gives you an idea of what you're looking at there. Another thing is this antenna here. And yes, you can see a lot of green stuff on here. That's something I finally can trim now that it's cured. Getting this thing to mount, I had to pin it. So I'm going to show you a picture here real quick. That I had to. I could not get this thing to not bow or flop anywhere else. I had to make a pin. Not that that's hard. It just needed to be done. Yeah, I think that's most of the little glitches I wanted to point out. Especially from the underside. A lot of this stuff, depending on what you're mounting or how you're mounting this, I do not see how you're going to put this on a flight stand with the weight. But unless you've got one of the big, Games Workshop flight stands. So I have more finishing to do. I've got a lot more painting to do here. This is probably the last time I'm going to look at the underside of this bloody thing. I do like the kit. Again, I'm going to reinforce the fact that I like this kit for what it is. I like the detail for what it is. I just want to point out as you're doing it, which is the purpose of me doing this particular build video, is to point out the things I run into. And those are things I'm running into. One other little tidbit I'm going to toss out there. So, yeah. There's the photo of the Raptor from the armament set, right? Okay. And this is the instruction book that comes with BadAzz. Now, this is, again, nothing more than it's not a complaint, it's just something I want to point out. If you look at it, these details here. Those details, there's no kit pieces for them. So in the Mobius kit, you have little styrene pieces for that. In this kit, you have no pieces for that. So those are modular pieces. Those are things you're going to have to do. They're little sticky outy things, so they're not that hard. You have 3 things of piping coming down off the front part of there. You have 3 pieces of piping, and then you have essentially a pipe and a loop and a pipe and a fork. Those are not hard. I can build those fairly quickly and easily. But I want to point out, not a complaint, just a statement that those pieces, and I can show you, it's not that I'm missing pieces, not that I'm not seeing pieces. They don't exist. These are the instructions. Those are those pieces going on, right? And there are no other steps where they point out, put something else on there. So that is something for the detailing part, just be ready for it. That's all. So if you're looking for those, and you're, not seeing them and think you're missing something, no, you're not missing it. That's up to you to do. No big deal. Just, again, pointing it out. Again, I'm happy I hollowed out the engines. I did point that out before. I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned it in the video, so I'm going to mention it now. Because of the weight, I did hollow out the engines. Picture up here now. So again, I just drilled it out. I probably could have drilled out more, but it was enough for what I'm doing. With that said, that is everything for this build for now. As I finish this off, I will probably do a reveal here fairly impending. I've probably got another week, the rest of this week to finish up the detailing and go back and fix little things that I'm finding as I'm just looking around here. But yeah, it's a good kit. It goes together well, but there's just a few little things to be aware of.